What's up, y'all? My name's Jesse with Greatt Builds, and in today's video I'm going to be building a new workbench for my shop. I had a few cut-off pieces from the old bowling alley slab, so I'll probably start making some different build videos throughout the next few months. For this video, I'll be making a new mobile workbench that anyone can easily build for their workshop. For my countertop, I have to get the final dimensions cut out of this scrap piece of bowling alley, so I measured out, drew my cut line, and cut the slab nice and square. These alley slabs were held together with some steel braces, so these had to come off so I can get my 2x4 braces placed underneath. The final dimensions of this slab are 24 inches deep by 42 inches wide, so I cut the 2x4s to fit just inside those dimensions with about an 1.5 inch overhang on all sides. I decided to lay my braces flat instead of vertical so I can have some more surface area to attach to the top, since these slabs will start coming apart without any support. You can also do this yourself on whatever top you choose to give your bottom shelf a few more inches of headspace to store some more stuff. Now that the top portion is done, I got started on the cuts for the base of the workbench. I wanted to get my final height of the workbench to just around 36 inches, so since I'll be using 4-inch casters, I made my vertical legs 30 inches. I first worked on putting together the bottom shelf of the workbench, making the dimensions of this the exact same as the support pieces on the top portion. Be sure to add some middle support pieces in case you plan on putting some heavier tools underneath. Once that's finished, I laid out the four 40-inch legs and placed a 3-inch block on the bottom of each leg. This will both give the bottom shelf a lot of support as well as help align the shelf a lot easier when attaching it to the legs. Now let's get this base put together. To make it easier, I stood up the 4 legs and then set down the bottom shelf onto those 3-inch blocks. Once it was lined up, I placed 4 screws into each leg to attach the bottom shelf to the legs. Once all the legs were attached, I flipped over the base and placed the slab right on top of those legs and placed 2 screws into each leg to attach the top. To give the workbench a smoother look, I got my router with a rounder bit and smoothed out all of the rough edges along the edge of the countertop. I then sanded the top up to 220 grit since this slab was just plain down and a bit rough, but if you're just using plywood, you may not need to sand your workbench top. Now that the bench is all assembled, I grabbed a scrap piece of plywood and cut out the bottom shelf. When I was attaching the bottom shelf of this workbench, while I was screwing them in, I noticed that one of the screws didn't have any threads on it, so I thought that was pretty cool. After the bottom shelf was installed, I flipped over the bench and started to add the casters. These casters are about 4 inches tall, and I attached them with some deck screws and some washers. Once the casters were installed, I placed some corner support pieces from my leftover 2x4s to give the bench a bit more support since this worktop is a bit heavy. And after that, your workbench is complete. I really appreciate you watching this video, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and liking this video, as I will be uploading a lot more fun beginner DIY videos as well as a bunch more reviews. Thanks again for watching. Take care.